The question today is, why do I need to have a trusted team? And when I talk about team, I'm talking about people that advocate for you, that support you, that are on this journey with you as an aspiring singer or a professional singer. So before I tell you the answer to that, I'm going to tell you a little story. Early on in my career, I decided to take a trip to Europe to do an audition tour. And I stayed in Europe for a couple of months by myself. And the reason that I went was because at that time I was identifying as a dramatic coloratura. And the thing was that particular voice category at the time, for the places that I was auditioning for in the United States, didn't seem to have the same kind of gravitas or understanding that it did in Europe at the time. So I decided to go to Europe, and I had my manager sort of set up a series of auditions for houses, stage auditions in Europe. So I get to Europe. The very first audition that I have was with the opera company in Cologne, Cologne, Germany. And so I went and I was singing specifically for them because they were going to be putting on a performance or casting for the Abduction from the Seraglio by Mozart. And at that time I sang one of the main female leads, which is Constanza. She's a dramatic coloratura. Okay. There is another character, another female lead in that opera called Blümchen, and she is a light lyric coloratura. Okay, so I was singing for Constanza. So I go in and I sing this audition, and I feel really good about it. And at the end, the intendant took me into a room and said, well, I scheduled this audition because I was looking for a Constanza, and your manager said that you were a Constanza. But I have to say that you really aren't a Constanza. You're really a Blümchen. Now, this totally freaked me out because for the first time ever, I was being told by this woman that my voice wasn't big enough to sing the repertoire that I was singing, which was absolutely ridiculous because in the United States, my voice was bigger than almost anybody else that was singing my repertoire. So I left that audition rather disheartened and feeling like, okay, I spent all this money to be over here in Europe, and what? I have no idea what I'm doing here now because obviously my voice isn't big enough. Okay, so anyway, fast forward 2 months later, I go to the very last audition of this audition tour. And I'm auditioning for an agent in Vienna. And there is an accompanist there who is he was a conductor for an opera company in, I think, Turkey or something, one of those countries. And so I went in and I sang the Queen of the Night. That was basically my go-to repertoire at that time. And the agent was very complimentary and liked me and wanted to send me on another audition. After the audition, the accompanist, who is the conductor, came up to me and he said, "You're a very wonderful singer. I really love what you do. But I have to tell you that you are singing the wrong repertoire. You should not be singing the Queen of the Night and Mozart. Your voice is much too big for that. You need to be singing Verdi and maybe even Wagner." And so here, 2 months later, now I'm being told that my voice is too big to be singing the repertoire that I sing. Okay? So I left that audition feeling kind of pissed off, actually, at that point, because I was like, all right, I came here because I thought that Europe was the place where they were going to understand my voice. And sure enough, they were not. Okay? It was not the place where I could get the understanding that I really needed at that time. And so I remembered something that my manager told me. And he said, you know, there are only 3 people in your singing career that you really, really need to listen to. These 3 people support you and advocate for you and give you what you need in order to move forward. Number 1, that is yourself. Very important. Number 2, that is your voice teacher. And number 3, that is your manager. Okay? But he also said something else. He said that actually there's a 4th person, and that 4th person is your loved one. Someone that your best friend, your spouse, your partner, your whomever it is that is always there to support you emotionally. Those are the people that matter, okay? Because those are the people that know you inside and out. And they can guide you and also pick you up when you need to be picked up. Okay? Opinions, you know where I'm going with this, okay? Opinions are like beep holes, okay? Everyone has one, all right? And the thing is that when you put yourself out there as a performer, you're going to get a lot of opinions thrown at you. Opinions by people that have the power to hire you or fire you or not hire you. Okay? But the thing is that in the end, those people's opinions don't matter. Because if those people's opinions are so opposite of who you know who you are, then they are not going to give you an opportunity that is actually going to forward your career in a way that it really needs to be forwarded. So the thing is that when you need help with your voice, you go to your voice teacher, your trusted voice teacher who knows your voice on good days and bad days. When you need help with your career, you go to your manager who will guide you on what it is that people are seeing and how it is that you can best be marketed and presented. When you need help, when the career becomes difficult, you go to your loved one who can hug you, or they can just listen to you, or they can offer advice. And when you need the ultimate in understanding and strength, you go to yourself. You know who you are at your core, and make sure that that is what guides you. So that's why you need a trusted team.